All right.
Season 6?
Elvis is out of the bag. I mean, Elvis has left the building. The cat's out of the bag.
Is this number 1?
This is season 6, episode 1. We have successfully completed an entire season.
Well, I've completed 5 entire seasons, but that's beside the point.
Of course, she wants to be the winner, the number 1, the conqueror, the champion.
The most importantly, you survived an entire season.
Yeah.
And Mike did too.
Mike had no problem.
Well, I've been here since the beginning. I just haven't spoken until.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. So what is the topic for our first episode of season 6?
Preparing for trial.
Preparing for trial.
Emotionally.
Well, how do you do that? Because I know you're preparing right now.
Well, the question is, do you actually prepare emotionally, or do your emotions take care of themselves?
I don't sleep when I'm preparing for trial.
So, very interesting. Okay, so about a week ago, I typically sleep 6-7 hours a day or night. I went down a good hour. So I'm at about 5.5 to 6, 5 to 5.5, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And I am awake and ready to go. And that is just a body thing. Like your body, if I didn't believe in body emotional health before, as I've gotten older, I have seen these relationships. My biological clock, is that biological clock? No. Okay, whatever the biology of my internal clock.
Your sleep clock.
Your circadian
changes.
rhythm.
Yes.
Wait, what was that thing you called it?
Circadian rhythm.
The
It
circadian
changes,
rhythm.
and I'm not even in trial, but it's the anticipation of the trial, and it's already changed.
Okay, so like, is that like an animal instinct? You're going into the hunt
I
mode?
don't know what it is. It's.
So wait, do you sleep
subliminal.
more now or less now?
Oh no, I sleep less.
You sleep less. Okay.
I will go to bed somewhere around 1-ish, and I will wake up before 6.
And then are you, as you're laying down, what is happening in your mind?
I'm not thinking about the trial that I'm aware of. I'm
What the hell are you thinking about?
well. I don't. This isn't that kind of a podcast.
Well, you said about. Oh wait.
No, I
Okay,
do that. No, so
I totally missed that one.
so
You're terrible.
The
Look at
answer.
you,
the
man.
answer is.
Oh,
so
my
the
goodness.
answer is
Yeah.
that I don't know why I do this. It obviously is related to the expectation that I'm going into trial and I'm changing. And when you're in trial, you do sleep less because you have so much to do. But I'm not in trial. I'm way ahead. I'm way ahead in this case. I've done everything. Everything's on track. There's no procrastination involved. Kristen and I are like a well-oiled machine just getting this thing done. So I'm not sitting there thinking, oh, no, I didn't do this. Or, oh, no, I didn't do that. It's just my body is ready.
Yeah.
It's ready. And so that's number 1. However, there's even a precursor to that, and you have experienced it, and Mike, you've experienced it. Both of you experienced this. It started about a month to a month and a half ago, maybe 2. What did you notice about me?
Starting to get spicy.
Yeah, you
very
were
spicy, very aggressive,
Very peppery.
Like it just, it's all starts, and it's excitement.
Yeah.
Well, it's
this.
just your body amping up in preparation,
Yes.
I think you've done it so many times, it's like it automatically switches into that sort of fight mode probably.
But also if you were an actor or,
Yeah.
someone when you're getting ready for that thing, like a method actor, right? They start taking on, well, for whatever reason, and this is not very self-explored, I just noticed these things and we're having a podcast. I thought I'd talk about it. I start getting aggressive, more so than normal. And it's not just a little aggressive. It's like constant. I mean, you should see what poor Mo. Mo is rolling his eyes, but Mo, how can you tell?
Because you're like, you're quick, and then you get pissed off real fast, and then you just like, and then you attack, and then like you throw jabs. You're just like,
And then I'm laughing,
and then you're
hysterical.
laughing.
'Cause
But like, I don't mind it, but I think it's just like a different side of you.
It's also not a negative energy.
No, it's
a
not.
very positive, aggressive.
No, it's been playful. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, it was like I was thinking about yesterday when we were recording, and I mean, that was just it.
She was just incorrigible.
Incorrigible. And then I talked to him, I'm like, yeah, I'm super mean. And I'm also really nice all at the same time.
Exactly.
He's like, you drive me nuts.
She does, because you're like getting overwhelmed by the spice, and then she just like softens it, and then takes you up, and then softens it.
And it just like you were saying, it kind of riles us up.
Oh, I know, it gets
Oh,
me.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know.
So there's this like anticipation of a
Yeah.
trial. And the other thing is, like, we had another case where that would be tried after this case. We can't get excited about that case because it may settle. And that's the thing about a case is I used to get excited about all cases. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so excited, we're going to try this case, and then they settle, which is so disappointing. And so now I spare myself the sadness of not being able to go to trial by not allowing myself to get into this mode until I know we're going to go to trial. We've known that we're going to go to trial on this case for a couple months, which is when this all started. We know for sure.
Yeah.
And so we're just getting ready to do that. And that all your senses have to be alert. Everything is going to be, magnified. We've already talked about that. You have a super, really nasty defense lawyer, which I love, having a terrible protagonist. Like that nasty defense lawyer, antagonist. My favorite archetype to go against is a really nasty defense lawyer.
Yeah.
You don't want the really nice ones.
No. You want a
like
villain.
Really bad ones. They just get you even more riled up. So they sent me something yesterday. Oh, they added more exhibits. And I'm like, stop wasting my time. You should have done that like 2 weeks ago. You're just brutal and funny and delighted all at the same time. Kristen and I just we go, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're on and you're doing all this stuff.
And then you're going through these swings, and then what do you do? How do you come off? Are you in the swing the entire day, entire night?
I don't even feel like to me, I'm just noticing it and I'm paying attention to it, and that's why we're having this podcast, because normally I disregard that stuff and I just act out.
Does your immediate environment like give you feedback other than me and Mike, like tell you like, hey, wow, okay, she's in trial mode, distance, like do you experience that?
You could poll my children, and
I was going to say, like,
the people around here, but the hallmarks for me are often I get really quiet the busier I am. Like I get really quiet, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because I'm so intensely in it.
Yeah.
But then, like, just before this, I was prepping some trial witnesses, and you're doing all this different stuff.
Yeah.
You're doing all this paperwork, because I'm trying this case, sorry, Mo, by myself. So I'm doing all the paperwork. I am doing all the witness prep. I know every single thing about the case, which I normally don't do. I normally try a case with the team.
I know.
So I'm feeling even more so than normal jazzed up about this case.
Yeah, what I've kind of been impressed by is that your energy level has been consistent. You've not been like crashing, tired at all.
No.
And then the other thing is your stamina is pretty darn impressive, because you're still managing a law firm and we're still working all the other cases. So it's not been like you're unavailable, I can't get a hold of you. But I think, how do you get to a place where you can focused prepare for a trial while managing all these other responsibilities?
Well, Mike knows that this is how I've always been.
yeah.
I have like a new paralegal, Jamie, who started working with me, and Patty started working with me, and they're like, well, when we work with our other attorneys, like, we know never to have anything booked for you for, the month before, the month after. For me, that's like, no. You can book me on Fridays. You can book me. I've been doing weekend meetings. Yeah. I have an arbitration that I'm going to do on a weekend. For me, it just all keeps going.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's impressive. It's
well,
impressive.
or not. You know,
Well, tell us
I don't
about
know.
that. What do you mean
Well, you can overdo it. Just because you feel good doesn't mean that that is good.
Well, I mean, I think that, as long as you have your reps, your ritual,
Yep.
health, some sleep, eat well, like for me, not drink, you just got to get your body to a place where you're just like getting ready to go like into, battle, but playing a sport. You know what I mean? It's just you're getting ready for a fight. It's an intellectual fight, but in reality, it's just a fight. So you gotta, it's like Rocky. You gotta go train.
You have to.
You gotta.
Yeah, for me, whether I'm in a team
Yeah.
or not, there's some survival skills involved.
Yeah.
And again, part of your inherentness as a human being affects your ability to do it
Yeah.
without, crash and burning. Number one is your speed.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. Who's faster?
I am.
I'm faster.
I am faster. I just answered you faster.
No. That's not how it works.
I am so much
You
faster.
stutter
than
all
you.
the time when I talk to you.
What-
And then you repeat the question. But quickness is an inherent skill
Yes.
and a blessing when you're a trial lawyer. Number two is organized. Number three comes with age or practice, is knowing how much to prepare.
Yeah.
Because you can over prepare.
Yeah.
Now, some people say you can never over prepare, but you can.
Yeah.
You can over prepare. And when you over prepare, for example, when I used to do closing arguments, I would stay up all night and then present because I can do that, which is I do not recommend it.
Yeah.
I used to do it when I was younger, way more.
Yeah.
But where I just didn't go to sleep. And I would pull my own all-nighters, maybe sleep 45 minutes, take a cat nap, and then go do it. And what I realized, and I stopped doing that about 15 years ago, even though I could do it, I don't feel like I was as fresh as I needed to be. I needed the space. It wasn't that I was fatigued personally enough, although I was more.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to have let it percolate. I needed to have trusted myself to tell that story without having spent all night having to do it. So the way that you plan things, the way that you work on your cross-examinations or your examinations, the way that you plan for an opening or a closing, you have to, for me, I'm going to prepare, and I'm going to prepare a lot, but I'm not going to over-prepare, and I'm not going to stop my life to only do this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you do that, you overload your psyche, your brain, and you just don't function at peak optimal. So I like to have enough space, and it may not be time space, but to step away. I watch so many movies during trial. I can't tell you how many movies I've watched during a trial. Many trials. I don't think I've ever gone in a trial and not watched a movie on one of the nights of the trial, because that 2 hours, I needed that 2 hours to get away from it.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds.
But many people are not like that.
No, a lot
they
of
are
people are not
immersed
like
and
that.
they do not want to talk about anything else. They don't. I know people that have children that would go stay in a hotel.
Yeah, that's nuts. I don't like doing that.
But a lot of
Unless
people
I have
do.
to, because geographically.
It's really not
the
nuts,
courthouses-
though. I mean, I can understand it as a single mother of 3 children.
Yeah.
I get it, but I didn't have that luxury.
I think those kind of become like the rituals that you guys do too, because I remember some of the other attorneys that aren't here anymore. Like they would take over a conference room for months and months at a time on their, like just them, nobody else. And stuff like that. Like, just the stuff that you guys do to prepare for trial is definitely individual.
It is. Different people do it different ways. My way is like, can you tell that I'm getting ready for trial in the office?
Yeah.
How?
Oh, well, I mean, like I said yesterday, I mean, just because we've been doing these
Oh,
podcasts.
but if
I
you
could
if you
tell.
weren't talking to
If
me,
I wasn't talking
footprint.
directly to you, I wouldn't know right now.
Yeah.
No, you've just been operating as normal. You were away, you returned from being away, and you were suddenly back in the office again.
Yeah.
And it was just like normal.
Yeah. But it is interesting, everybody's very different. And what I also then, so this is kind of the pretrial phase. And I thought we would, talk about that. Like, what do you do? We can talk about it later about what it's like actually in trial. But in the pretrial phase, what are you going through? And especially with the other attorneys, right? And the judge. So we had a meeting yesterday with our judge, who we're going to lose because she's going to do a murder trial, and that defense attorney, and another defense attorney, and Kristen and I. And, we're doing these status conferences every week because the judge wants to keep us on track. I can't hardly even look at him without just wanting to roll my eyes or gnash my teeth. Now, that's not true for all defense lawyers, but a good number of them. So I guess that's my next question is, do we have to villainize our opponent in order to really feel like we're operating at peak level as trial lawyers?
That's a good one.
I believe that you have to villainize your opponent to some degree, but I also think that just like any battles, soldiers have to have some sort of respect for their enemy.
What do you, so when you were a juror watching it, what were the dynamics that you saw between the two sides?
Okay.
And did they make an impact on you?
Did they what? Make an
Did
impact?
it make an impact on me watching how they interrelated?
Yeah, it very much did. First off, the prosecutor, it was his first trial. And he was, to me, visibly scared the entire time. I don't know. I feel like he was covering it pretty well, but I really was like, oh, God.
And how did you know? How did you know it was their first trial?
I did not know until afterwards. They told us afterwards when they were doing the jury questions. Well, actually, maybe it was they came back to the jury room, just the attorneys, and that was when it was, I think. But yeah, I mean, he just didn't look sure of himself, and the defense attorney was extremely sure of herself, and I thought did a very good job. While the prosecution very much seemed like they were pushing this whole idea. All of the evidence that they put and the order that they put it in very much seemed like they were setting up a narrative of what had happened. And when we went in, that was what most of the people agreed with too. Like they had just walked in and were like, "Oh yeah, prosecution, right?" Boom. And it was the way that he presented the evidence and the way that the defense attorney reacted, kind of, is the way that I would say it. Like she seemed to be a little bit more sure of herself than I thought she should have.
Did you notice any kind of antagonism between them? When you describe that?
It seemed like she was baiting him a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody.
Shocker.
Good
technique.
Yeah. So I mean, it seemed like.
Did you enjoy that?
I did.
So So when you saw her baiting him, not that I know anybody that would ever do that. How did that make you feel as a juror?
Well, because I kind of agree. I was on the opposite side. I agreed with the defense, and I liked that she was sort of jabbing a little bit because I felt, like I said, I felt that the prosecution had this story that they were like, that's it. This is the way it was, and you got to believe it because here, look, there's two police officers that are telling you that's the way it is, and that's the way it is. And I believed her more in her opening, and as the evidence came out, I tried to look at it both ways, but like I really felt that she convinced me by the time it was over.
Well, I mean, this could be a good topic for future use too. Maybe we should do a part 2 on the dynamics during the trial. Like, how much does the presentation impact the facts? We should hold that and do that,
totally.
as another one. But it is interesting, just the dynamics between the lawyers. And I'll tell you what doesn't work. What doesn't work, there's exceptions for everything. Jurors don't often like to see the lawyers fighting with each other.
Oh, yeah.
Until they do. So I've been in cases I learned early, like they don't really want to see you fighting with each other, but then sometimes they do. And I've also learned as a female trial lawyer, they don't like to see me fighting until they do. And when they do, I call it when they give me permission. I can sense it. A big example was a case I had with John Henry Brown.
That's where I was going to go with this, because I remember watching this and seeing this happen.
And you wanted me to hit back, didn't you?
Oh yeah, no. Well, I think it's almost like a thing where they get, I won't say sympathy, but like they want you to fight back.
Correct.
They're in your corner.
So it's like what you have to do in that situation is you have to let yourself be beat on a little bit. And then you will know when the time is right for you to defend yourself, or in my case, attack.
Well, that is defending yourself at that point.
Yes, it is. It is. And so I don't believe that there's any like definitive rule in that regard. What do you think, Mo?
About which aspect of it? Pretrial, preparing,
I'm talking, really talking about the interrelationship with the other attorney.
Interrelationship.
And how does that affect you going into trial? We touched on it a little bit in trial, but this was supposed to be about really you're getting ready for trial. You really like the person that you're going against versus you really don't like the person you're going with. And how does that change up?
To me, when I look at the other lawyer, I just see them as like an obstacle in the way of the case a lot of the times. Because what they're there to do is to obstruct. They're just obstructionists. So I always try to figure out what's the best way to get that other lawyer to keep the case moving along. Like whatever I need to do to allow that to happen, whatever persona or temperament is needed, that's what I do. I may need to be nice because nice works. I may need to be not nice because not nice works, but I don't think about the lawyers as much.
Give me an example of being not nice.
Being not nice?
Quick.
I mean, just getting on a call and just being like, just looking at them, like that.
No one can see you that's not watching.
Yeah. Well, looking at them like that, and asking them, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you know what you're doing? Do you even have any idea what you're doing? Do you know what the rules are? I'm going to read this rule to you slowly, and I'll bring the rule up, and I'll slowly read it. I want to make sure that you and I have an understanding of this rule. Do we? Do we? Okay. All right. Let's apply this rule to these facts, and then I'm going to ask you a question. I mean, so sometimes, because I feel that, that's a little bit condescending. That is condescending. Some people need to be condescended to because they're just bullies. But that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is that I am thinking about the case. I'm thinking about the story, what it's going to look like. I don't sit there and like plan out detailed scripts. I just keep absorbing the story. I keep exposing myself to the story, either through the witnesses, through the documents that I'm reading, and then I just start to see the movie. I see the film. I can literally see it, and I run different cuts. I go, okay, this is going to come out like this, and then I look for there's a moment there. There's a moment, an opportunity for that part of the case to come to life in a way that's like super magical, and you just start to see it, and then I don't commit to it. I just see it, and that's it. So even when I'm preparing, I don't overly prepare. I like to go play basketball. I like to hang out. I totally agree with her. If you're too deep into the stuff before you go into trial, actually is not productive. So.
And I even say, don't you think that that's where you if you've over prepared, even if you have prepared just enough, everything can start to go wrong when you're at trial, and you have to totally change what you were planning on doing anyway, right?
Well, we've talked about that. When you over prepare, it's good to prepare, and it's good to be very prepared. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like you're over prepared when you have a script for everybody. Like for me, I'm talking to some trial witnesses who I know are going to try. I did it right before we came down to the podcast. I'm like, yeah, you're not going to get a script from me. I'm not going to tell you the questions I'm going to ask. This is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to think about this. You can get me back, call me back and give me an example, because I want you to think in terms of this way. And this is what you can expect from, this is how the procedure, and this is, how you're going to get called, and the defense is going to, maybe say this. But there's no script. And for opening argument in this case, the last case I tried against this guy, he objected to every single visual. So I did it without visuals. I'm known for using visuals. I don't need to use visuals.
Yeah.
So when you over prepare, you rely too much on the fact that you've over prepared. It gives you a false sense that you're ready. Whereas you're ready because you've been working on this case for a year and a half, and you know the facts and the law better than anyone else. And for me, what I need to do is that my brain, my whole processing needs to work, and it doesn't work if all I do is live, breathe, and die it, because that's obnoxious to me. That's not fun. That is soul sucking. That is, it's crushing to me. It would crush me. It would bog me down. I want that creative energy thing that gets when you don't do that, when you don't overdo it. It's a fine line, though.
It is a fine line. Ultimately, I'm thinking about what's going to make the story compelling for the jury. I'm constantly thinking, what are they going to like? Are they going to like this character? Or if I'm hard on this character, the witnesses, is it going to look bad on me? Can I push a little bit? And sometimes I'll test things out. What's the wonderful part about civil work? The deposition. We never had depositions in criminal. You just went to trial. So in civil work, you get depositions. So I get to test the emotional capacity of a witness during a deposition. Mm-hmm. I will push a little bit, see how they respond, be more subtle. And then I realize, okay, I see who this person is. And then I think okay, this is how this would play out in front of a jury. So a lot of the times, if I'm very aggressive with a witness in deposition, I'll be entirely different in front of the jury, because I know that that's not going to resonate.
Do you think that that's something that you developed after being in criminal law and having to do it on the fly all the time?
No, I think that's from being an artist, being a poet and an actor in New York City and a writer. And what we would do is
a person who studies human nature.
Human nature. So we did a lot of improvisational work, and what we would do is we would be in the moment and just sort of build stories. And it's just that.
Let's pause there. You cannot be in the moment when you are focusing on the next question because you wrote it down on a script.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
To be in the moment,
you have to be thinking about what you're doing at that time.
You have to be listening.
Yeah.
You have to be right there.
Yeah.
To be in the moment means to be actually in the moment, not ahead of it, not behind it. And to be in that moment means you have to give up control.
So she did this. She does this really well, actually, when she's dealing with a person who's been harmed or lost somebody. And what she does is that she has 3 or 4 photos, and she knows exactly where she's going to go with the witness. She has no questions written down. She just has the 4 photos. And then she'll walk up, and she'll just start having a conversation with them. And as she's having a conversation with them, she brings up a photo and has a conversation about the photo, and then has a conversation about the person and what they lost, and just keeps kind of talking. And then sort of 3 or 4 photos in, and the conversation's over. And what that does is that rather than her sitting there and asking a list of questions because she's got to get the facts out for the evidence to make the argument, what she's done is connected the witness to the jury through conversation. And you're kind of watching a movie.
Okay, but we're off the topic.
Yeah.
Oh, we are?
Preparing for we got way far away.
Oh, we got way far away.
However, there's another thing that's happening while you're getting ramped up.
Yeah.
And that is that you are sharing your joy with the defense lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
The jabs come fast.
Yes.
The jabs are everywhere. And they have been, coming on in the depositions and the meetings and the motions, but as you're getting closer to trial, now you're engaged. And with a defense lawyer who I don't like, it is so fun. It's like, I can't describe, how do you describe what I'm even trying to describe to someone that doesn't get to be mean for a living against someone that they detest because they're trying to wreck their client's life?
That's hard because most people in life don't deal with this and feel powerless, when they're in their own personal lives, dealing with this. But I think it's a very unique discipline that we're in. Lawyers get to, in a controlled setting, engage an adversary that, in your case, is truly an antagonist. Not only because an antagonist because they represent a side that is contrary to your side, but they personally try to make life uncomfortable for you. I mean, this person is just, is not a good person. And so it makes it, I think it gives you that dynamic where
we can't say that they're not a good person, right? I think, I don't want to judge people because I only know them in the context of what they're doing. What they're doing is not nice.
Okay,
right?
Well then it's not good.
And I'm just trying to be generous here.
You.
But going back, and I want to cut off the topic of how this kind of bleeds into the beginning of trial, is you have to be really cautious of that.
Yeah.
Because you can't stand that other person, right? Because you have let that be building and building, and now you are here and you are antagonistic. Well, the jury hasn't had time to catch up to that. You don't get to start off just being unholy mean.
You can't be yelling at each other and expect them to have any idea what's going on.
You can't. The jury has to see for themselves, wow, that guy's horrible. I hope she beats him up, right? That process has to happen. And I've misread that process in the past. I don't think I've misread it in a long time. But I can remember one time, a long time ago, where the defense lawyer wanted to use my screen and projector. And I said, no, right in front of the jury. And I remember them saying, why didn't you let him do it? Well, the answer was because, he can go get his own stuff, and he's mean. And now I wouldn't do that unless, well, first of all, I would have made that clear at the beginning. But it happened with John Henry Brown, and the jury thought it was hilarious because he had no tech. We had the tech, and several days or weeks maybe a week had come into the trial. And he asked Farhad to start putting stuff up. And I said, Farhad, take everything down.
Yeah.
And the jury watched it. And they didn't get mad at me. But if I'd done that at the very beginning, they would have been like, what is going on here? She is just awful.
Well, and it was doubly bad because then the rest of the trial, I can remember, he didn't know how to operate anything and just looked like he had no idea what was going on. It made him look horrible. I've never seen an attorney, and he knew it. He was just falling apart.
Horrible. Horrible. Yeah. So you really, I guess the bottom line is things start happening. You are changing. You are gearing up to trial. Your body is taking on a life of its own. You're sleeping less. You're more aggressive. Whatever you're doing, your mind's, all over the place. With joy and happiness, and also just trying to figure out how you're going to fit everything in. But at the same time, you have to be very strategic about what's going on.
Yeah.
You have to know that your disinterest or dislike of the other person cannot make itself known initially. You have to know that you have to, behave this way or that way, or you have to be conscious of this with this expert or that expert, or whatever's happening. So you can't just let your emotions go.
No.
As strong as they are, the strategic part of you has to be engaged the whole time.
You have to take the higher road in that kind of battle, in my opinion. Because if you don't, then you endanger yourself to looking bad.
And you know what? It's the client that comes first.
Yeah.
And as much as I would like to just let loose, I am never going to put my client second. Yeah. So my self-indulgence of my need to just slap somebody is always going to give way towards I'm going to be professional and I'm going to do exactly what I need to do with this other person in this courtroom. I don't want the judge mad at me. I want the judge to like me. And that's another issue right there is the judge. Now, pot shots, the judges don't like it. But if I'm going to say, Your Honor, I think this attorney is using AI, and the judge says, I do too, that's not a pot shot.
No.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say is you got to make sure that you stay on the right side of the judge, because if you don't, then like you've been on the receiving end of that, and it is brutal the entire trial, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, this is good. Well, let's see. We're going to have to do it once you do the trial and see how that goes. But keep us posted.
Okay.
Okay.
Over.